You're listening to The Hub, connecting with legal innovators. This is the Hackathon Edition, Student Innovators, and it's presented to you by the Legal Innovation Data Institute and hosted by me, Colin Lachance. Thanks for listening. All right. Hey, thanks for joining us again for another edition of the Ottawa Legal Innovation Hackathon podcast. I'm glad you're here. My name is Colin Lachance. I'm with the Legal Innovation Data Institute, and I'm joined by a team that's made up of students from 3 different schools. So I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves. Daniel, starting with you.
Thanks for having us, Colin. My name is Daniel. I'm studying civil law at the University of Ottawa. I finished my bachelor's degree in engineering at the University of McGill. And I worked for about a year in construction, and then I decided to pursue law. So that's more or less where I'm at today.
Excellent. Thank you, Daniel. And what year are you in civil?
I'm in my first year.
First year. Okay. David, tell us about yourself.
Hi, so my name is David. I did my undergraduate at U of T, University of Toronto. My program was called Ethics, Society, and Law. So it's like kind of a pre-law program. A lot of people end up going to law school, but I also did a major in political science as well. Right now I'm in my first year at Ryerson studying law.
So you're the first part of the first cohort of Ryerson Law, for those who are less familiar with the school. It's a school with a bit of a tech focus and innovation focus generally. And as far as I know, you may be the only Ryerson Law student participating in this Innovation Hackathon. So thanks for joining.
There you go. I hope I represent the school well.
I'm sure you will. So we were meeting JC. Over to you.
Yes, so I'm currently a first year MBA student at McGill. Similar to Daniel, completed a Bachelor of Civil Engineering at McGill, graduated in 2018 at the same time as Daniel. Went to go work in oil and gas for 2 years and really enjoyed the engineering projects, but wanted to get more of a strategic viewpoint into these kinds of projects. So pursuing an MBA to get into financial side of these large engineering projects.
Excellent. Thanks for joining, JC. And it's good to see folks from not only people with backgrounds beyond sort of traditional legal entry paths, like the civil engineering side added in, but to have an MBA student participate in the group will add some diversity of opinion and thinking to your team for sure in a very positive way. So let's talk about the hackathon. So at this point, it's been announced there's 16 teams registered, national representation built into this, but you haven't been advised on what the challenge question is. So tell me, I'm going to start with David this time. What prompted your interest to participate, and what do you hope to see come out of this Innovation Hackathon?
To be honest, I didn't hear about it myself. Daniel shot me a message one day. He showed me the details of it because I guess it's through the University of Ottawa. He said, "Are you interested in participating in this?" And I said, "Sure, why not? We'll take a stab. I've never done anything like this before." So I'm just hoping to get some experience. And at first I thought the hackathon, because when I think of hackathons, I thought it was going to be some computer science coding thing. I didn't think I was qualified for that. But then I read into it and I realized that this was something I could manage. So just hoping to get some experience and seeing what these all are all about, and improve in that sense.
Great. Excellent way to start your legal career by changing it and changing the environment. JC, so what prompted your interest in this? Did Daniel recruit you as well?
Yeah, that's right. So Daniel definitely seems to be the glue guy in the team, and reached out to me a couple of weeks back discussing the hackathon. And of course, I mean, my experience with legal matters in general pretty limited. But, as a student, to me, I think it's important to kind of broaden my horizons. And if there's an opportunity for learning, I'm here to take it and to try it out, see what happens.
Excellent. Daniel, so what prompted you to bring people together to join you? So you had a passion for it.
I've assembled the dream team, which they didn't speak about in the intro, but David, for example, is very interested in sports, has a very analytical mind. And JC, I studied with JC. We did our undergrads together, and he has a very creative mind and analytical as well. So I sort of brought these pieces together, which I thought would help. And I guess I'm the glue that's going to keep us together. But yeah, I mean, I've done a similar type of competition. We call them case competitions. So I did one in engineering, and I did quite well. We placed provincially. So they're just fun competitions, but also I do know that there is a lot of innovation in the legal field that's happening now. So I figured this would be a good way to just kind of jump right in, head first, and just really immerse myself in the innovations that are taking place in the field, just to start researching, meet people who are also interested, meet, I guess, the mentors that have a wealth of experience. So that's more or less what prompted my interest, and just obviously access to justice is something that any lawyer is probably naturally passionate about. So that's probably what drew me the most. That's
great. And one thing that, as you get more exposed to law, it becomes very obvious there are more problems than there are solutions right now. So any opportunity to bring creative thinking and different ideas to some of these challenges can certainly be a benefit for others, but also for yourself. Again, it's the way it sort of prepares your mind as you move forward. If you're not set on adopting, being trained in one way and then following that, but entering this profession or contributing to it, in JC's case, by offering creativity, this is a great time. And I can tell you, we had a meeting this morning setting the challenge questions. So I'm sure you'll find something interesting and meaty to sort of get engaged with. So let's talk about the education side. So Daniel and David, you're both in first year of your legal studies. JC's not in legal studies, but I'm going to start with JC anyways on this question. So talk about innovating education, and I'd say, I'm going to expand this to say innovating the engagement of other faculties with legal topics and questions. Do you see this as something that's beneficial, obviously for you personally, but do you think that would be a beneficial innovation in engineering or business to get a deeper insight into the legal environment?
Yeah, absolutely, Colin. I mean, look, during my engineering undergrad, one of my favorite classes that I took was a class that touched on the legal side of construction and engineering works, and even architecture. And I thought that was a great primer. I think it's something that everybody really needs to know about moving into a professional role in any industry. With that in mind, pursuing an MBA, I'll be hopefully in a strategic role in a couple of years, and I'll be interfacing with lawyers, certainly. And, I need to know about these things. I need to understand what you guys talk about in these long, complicated to read documents. So the more exposure I could get to it, the better.
Well, and you can teach the lawyers how to communicate in PowerPoint instead of in long memos.
It sounds dangerous.
Daniel, talk about innovating legal education and sort of public awareness of legal issues.
Well, I think it's an interesting question. I think it's applicable probably to any professional degree in any profession, which is there's a knowledge gap in that. The professionals have all, a doctor has all the knowledge with regards to medicine that the layman doesn't have. Same thing with a lawyer. There's tons of people who probably don't know their rights. There's a disconnect between the average person and the legal profession, and like I said, any other professional degree. So I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how to bridge the gap. I think that's part of the things that part of the issues. One of the issues I would like to explore further throughout this hackathon, but I definitely think the opportunity for maybe like minor degrees or just more practical coursework. I really don't know. It's an interesting question that you bring up that I haven't thought about too much.
No easy answers. I'm going to make it harder for David to answer now. Because David, you've already chosen to go to a brand new law school that itself has an innovative structure to its education. And not only like all the other schools is it being delivered remotely because of COVID, but there's not even a normal to compare it to. So, so I'm going to twist the question around for you a little bit and sort of tell me what some of the things that Ryerson has been doing well in bringing you into this education and this profession.
Right. So like you said, this is the first ever cohort, first year that Ryerson Law School is in existence. And that in itself is a challenge, and it doesn't get easier by the fact that everything had to start and it's continued all year remotely. But I think that something good that they do is that I was telling the guys before this, but at the beginning, the first week of every semester is they run an intensive, which is a 1 week long course on a different topic. So like, for example, in September, it was just kind of general intro to the legal profession, a lot of guest speakers and whatnot, a chance to collaborate with your group members. And then there's one at the beginning of all 6 or I guess 5 of, in my case, semesters. There's one on coding, for example, like computer, then there's another one on business, I believe. So that's one thing. Another thing, the Ryerson has the integrated practice curriculum. So it's a lot more hands-on, again, from my knowledge compared to other law schools. So for example, in contracts last semester with all our tutorial leaders are practicing lawyers. So, they take their experience and what they do in their field and they teach that to us. Like, so we had to, draft a contract or, mistakes, spotting errors in contracts and whatnot, reviewing contracts. So that's just one example of like stuff that we do in class that I guess might be different. But yeah, like you said, it is a challenge. There's no normal to compare it to. I was actually talking to someone from another school and they're like, how do you get by without upper year notes? I said, I don't even know what upper year notes are. We don't have upper year notes. I don't know. I just make my own. Right. So
that's actually a really good one.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that particular one. I mean, that goes back to my day.
Crossed my mind until they brought it up. So I guess that's one thing of not even knowing what normal is, right?
You're the upper year notes.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course your upper year notes won't be valuable at all to them because they'll either be back or there'll be another twist, there'll be another evolution in how it's taught. Well, that's pretty amazing. Yeah. So, anyways, I love the enthusiasm, the background that you guys are bringing to this event, and thank you for taking some time to participate in this interview. So. We may get a chance to speak again. I may wind up being your mentor. I may wind up, I'm definitely one of your judges when it comes to the end of it. So, and top teams are going to get another round at the podcast table to share their experience. So, thanks again, and I wish you all the best.